Strike a pose. I'm actually killing a little time right there. I could have edited that out, but the reason I did that is because usually the first 10 seconds of my video, I don't know what's going on with it, the audio gets screwed up. Folks, if you consider yourself an empath, you know, special empath, target individual, and anybody that doesn't agree with you, you are a narcissist, perp. That stuff drives me crazy, folks. It drives me insane. Every once in a while in these Facebook groups, you'll see someone post their idea of what a target is. A target is special. A target is an empath. A target has a high IQ. A target is creative. A target has special connections with people. I saw something someone put out the other day, and it had like 15 items of things that had nothing to do with targeting, and it had like 20 people with likes and smiley faces and the hug, I care on Facebook. I'm like, I'm not an empath. I'm not special. None of this applies to me. This is bullshit. But you have to let it go, and you got to let people be who they want to be. But in this case, and this is called gang stalking, doesn't care about your feelings. In this case, a lady posted to a Facebook group today, and I got on her bad side, as I sometimes do. She posted, my family's gang stalking me, and every time I try to talk about gang stalking to them, they say, you're crazy. And she went on to say about how they're mistreating her and whatever. And I replied, ma'am, it's time to find a new family. Get over it and get on with your life. She writes me back, oh, that's not a nice thing to say. I've got PTSD. I write her back, ma'am, I'm sorry about your PTSD. And she's like, Google it. I go, I'm sorry about your PTSD. I know what it is. Don't have to Google it. I've had PTSD. And you people might be going, you had PTSD? Yeah. And I told her to get over it. It's not bipolar. It's not schizophrenia. It's not major depression. It's not schizoaffective disorder. It's something that with therapy and the right mindset, you can get over PTSD. It may take some time, but you find a good therapist, you learn about cognitive behavioral therapy, you can work your way through that. When I first became a target back in 2004, from 2004 till 2010, gang stalking was not something that I saw on YouTube videos. I don't think I even watched much YouTube back then. YouTube it came out a little bit later. But I would look at all kinds of stuff on the internet and never heard the term gang stalking. And I was getting hit hard. I was getting hit very hard. I didn't know what it was, who was doing it, why they were doing it. I just knew that there were elements of classical conditioning, other types of psychology. And I'm like, and the thing I was always wondering is, how do all these people work together, get coordinated to say these things and do these crazy things in front of me? How are they hacking my email, hacking my phone, and then take apart bits and pieces of my email conversations and then giving it to these people over here that I work with, and these people talk about things that I talked about to someone else in an email. Now, they wouldn't just say it verbatim like they had their lines memorized, like they're, Matthew McConaughey or some kind of damn actor, Leonardo DiCaprio. No. They would be sitting there with their old cell phone. This was before smartphones. And at the right time, they would whip their cell phones out and they would read from a script. One would say yada, yada, yada. And then the other one would go yada, yada, yada. And then the other one would go yada, 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 him. Yada, yada, oh, him. Yeah, yada, yada, him. They're going to off him, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, I know they're going to 86 him. And I was like, who's coordinating all this? It just blew my mind. I'm like, there is logistics out the wazoo to pull this off. It happened in Tyler, Texas. Then I go to Chandler, Texas. Then I go to Austin, Texas. It followed me everywhere I went within 2 weeks. I was like, an atomic bomb was going off in my head. It was blowing my mind. People walking up to me and going, doing things like that. They wouldn't walk up to me and do that. They would do it from a distance. There was one time I was shopping at this outdoor market in Austin, Texas. And this one dude, he would stay like 30, 40, 50 feet behind me. And no matter which alley I went through between this market and that market, kind of like a farmer's market thing, this dude would follow me and he had like an umbrella. And if I turn around and look, he'd stop and pretend he was doing something else. That reminds me of something else. This next thing that happened, this happened at a Walmart. However, this happened when I finally found out I'm not for sure if I knew what targeting was then. Yeah, I did know what it was. I finally found out. But for 6 years, I'm in the complete dark about this. And I'm trying to tie this back into PTSD, because what I'm trying to tell you is when you get targeted by all the psychological harassment and you don't know who's doing it, you never heard the term gang stalking, you talk about being alone and isolated and no one to talk to about this. I didn't tell anybody, nobody I opened my mouth to, except on a couple occasions to a kinfolk, oh, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy. You are crazy. I said, okay, that's the way you feel about it. I ain't gonna have nothing to do with you no more. Had one friend. Had a friend, used to be tight with, really tight. We used to roll back in the day. I tried contacting him a couple times and his answers are always very short. If I try to send him something like Facebook, like old pictures from an old party that I found on an old hard drive, send it to him, he go, hey, thanks. Said one time, hey man, we ought to grab a beer. Sure. It's somebody I used to roll with, somebody I knew really good. What I'm trying to say is gang stalking doesn't care about your feelings. And I know that this guy had, that Doug guy over there that used to be your friend, or he's your friend, well, he's, so they filled his head with this, and if he wants to buy in that and believe that nonsense, you think my feelings are hurt because he don't want to be my friend anymore? You think my feelings are hurt because someone I share DNA with thinks I'm crazy and they don't want to validate anything that I have to say or listen to it? Do you think my feelings are hurt? I don't have anything to do with them. Either one of them. And I can say gang stalking gave me a gift. 2 gifts. One was that person I shared DNA with. Actually, there's a couple other family members that I shared DNA with that won't have anything to do with me anymore. I don't have anything to do with them either. And I don't go, oh, I wish I had my unloving, uncaring family members back to not love me anymore. That ain't gonna happen. Oh, I wish I had that old fake ass friend that only show up during fair weather. I wish he'd be my friend again. That ain't gonna happen either. It's a gift, people. You can look at it like, well, boo-hoo-hoo for me. It's my loss. They hurt my feelings. My feelings are hurt because they won't validate my emotions or validate anything I gotta say. Yada, 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 yada. Folks, if you try to invest some time, some feelings, some commitment, some trust, some faith, the loyalty to someone, and they don't mirror those things back to you, if they don't give back to you what you give to them, they're takers. Don't have anything to do with them. Don't sit there and go, oh, well, boo-hoo-hoo. Where's the pity train at? I want to jump on that son of a bitch right now. I'm getting on the pity train. Come on along and ride on the pity train. I ain't getting on that train. Because you know what the deal is? These people, they're victims. You hear about people all the time. I'm a victim of gang stalking. Well, congratulations. Merry Christmas to you. Let me know how that works out. I'm a target. I'm not a victim. You know what happens to victims? They get their feelings stomped in the mud. Do you know what happens to victims? I'm not talking gang stalking victims. I'm just talking about your everyday victim. The everyday, I'm special, I'm an empath. I've got feelings and I'm non-binary and my pink vomit green hair, that's an expression of my outer character. I'm special. That's why I'm a targeted individual. That's a victim right there. The neighborhoods I grew up in, if you had a V on this or a V anywhere, and I'm not talking about really having a V painted on you or tattooed, people can see if you're a victim. And you know what happens to victims? You know what happens to victims? People step all over them. People walk up to him, knock him in the head. People walk up to him, bong, 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 bong. That's what people do. When you're a victim, that's what happens to you. Don't be a victim. So this lady's portraying herself as a victim. Oh, I got PTSD. Go Google PTSD. I've got feelings. Lady, I've got feelings too. But there's two things you can do, ma'am. You can leave your family, not have anything to do with them anymore. Your abusive boyfriend who you think's gang stalking you, who's in on it, or your other friends who you think that are in on it. You don't owe them anything. If they don't give back to you what you give to them, it's time to close that door and move on with your life. That's all I'm saying. But you don't understand. It hurts my feelings. Gang stalking does not care about your feelings. If you're a new TI, or let's say you're an old TI and you isolate all the time because you don't want to go out and you don't want to be subjected to anything, that means you're a victim mentality because you're afraid to go outside because you're afraid to face what's going to happen. I'm trying to spit a little truth at you. Because you can't come out of your house, you can enjoy your life. Sure, people are going to act like dicks. People are going to say stuff. You're going to see a headlight. You're going to see a color. It doesn't matter. It does not matter what these people think, what they say, what they do. Case in point, let's say we're going to a gas station. Outside a gas station, it's not your everyday panhandler. It's got a sign, I'm hungry. I need to feed my family. People like that, you give them money, and if they look like they're hungry, they don't look like they're crackheads or something, you give them money. But there's been times I walk into a gas station or I try to walk in, some dude's like, hey man, you got some spare change, man? You got a cigarette? Yeah. You got something? You got any change there? I'm sorry, man. They're even lucky if they get that out of me because I ain't got time for that. I'll walk right by them and I'll go in and get my 32 ounce, my can of snuff, whatever it is I went in to get. I'm not worried about that. And if I walk out and they try to catch me on going to my car, if they get too close, I'll tell them, you need to step back. But if they're just, hey man, I really need some change or whatever, I don't give them anything. I get my car, and as long as they don't touch me or they don't act aggressive to me, that's your drama, man. That's your story. That's how you want to live your life. You live your life like that. You know what I'm going to do when I get home? I'm going to crack open that barley pop. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to crack open a barley pop and I'm going to enjoy it. Do you think I'm going to go home and drink my beer going, that crackhead, man? Man, he just ruined my day, man. And I'm gonna think about that crackhead all damn day. You think I'm gonna go to bed at night going, damn, these crackheads, man, they get to me. No. That's his story, that's his life. Instead of him being a crackhead, let's say he's a gang stalker and he's a perp and he's trying to say something, or he's sitting there with a camera and he's holding the camera at you. You know what I do? If I see someone holding a camera at me, I walk right by him. During the daytime, I got my prescription shades on. Somebody could be going like this to me, and I won't even look over at them because I can see them out of the corner of my eye. I'm not going to give them my attention because that's what they want. They're a little drama hoe. They want some attention. That's what they need. That's how they get through their life. They need you to feed into their story. They need you to validate them. They need you to put your stamp on them to let them know you are aware of them and they're special. And they're somehow or another going to weave their way into your life, innovate themselves into the fabric of your life. But you know what? I don't care. I don't care if the guy's over there with a camera. I don't give a rat's ass. I'm not a fugitive. I'm not on the wanted list by the FBI. Take my pictures. I'll be like one of the Wayne brothers, strike a pose. No, I wouldn't do that. But it would be funny though, wouldn't it? To sit there, oh, you want to take my picture? Here you go. How about I show you this? Is that what you wanted to look at? No, I do think like that sometimes. I think, it'd be really fun to mess with them. Or it'd really be fun to get in their ass. But I've been in this program long enough to know that if you give them any of your energy, if you give them any feedback, if you acknowledge they even exist, they feed on that. Because you've heard of toxic people, these toxic vampire type people that just suck all your energy out, and they drain you. That's what they are. They're nothing but toxic people. I don't want to have anything to do with him. I could care less if he poured gasoline on top of his head, pulled off all his clothes and lit his ass on fire, ran down the street buck-ass naked like a spotted ass ape on fire. I don't care. That's your life. You live your life how you want to. And I don't care what you say to me. You can sit there and mumble some crap at me. I don't care. I'll pretend like I don't hear it. I may hear every word you say, but I'm not going to look at you and go, oh, really? I'm not investing any time in these people. Because what they say and what they do has no impact in my life. There is no significance whatsoever. I'm not giving them any of my time. My time is valuable. This space up here, it's not for rent. That person over there is trying to get in these space right here. That's the angle I'm coming at with this message. With this message to this lady, I'm saying if your family is not treating you right, it's time to find a new family. Move on with your life and get on with it. If your boyfriend's treating you bad and you think he's gang stalking you, or if something else going wrong in your life, don't sit there and try to work those things out. You know it ain't going to work. But there's some people in this life who are so messed up. They enjoy the drama. They enjoy the yin and yang, the give, the take. They enjoy the toxic environment and stuff like that. And if that's what you want, more power to you. I'm not criticizing you. I'm just telling you that's not my MO. I don't operate like that. Because I've found through the years, when you give your energy to people like that and you get wrapped up in their story, they pull you down. They start sucking all your energy out. Then you get caught up in their story. Their story is their life. What's going on with them? I don't want nothing to do with them. I want nothing to do with perps. If I got a family member that's perping me, I don't go F that family member. I'm not going to have anything else to do with them. I'm not going to wish them bad. They're still in my prayers. They are. But as far as contacting them and hanging out with them, that ain't happening. I moved on with my life. As far as a friend that used to be a friend, we used to roll, we used to break bread. And I'm no longer like on your call list anymore. And when I call, my answers don't get returned. I mean, my voicemail don't get returned. I say something in Facebook and you reply with sure, thanks. When it was not just, hey, how you doing? Great. So instead of sitting there going, I need to get this friendship back together. I need to feel validated by my friends. I need to get that reconnection back. No, hell no, I don't. I don't. You ain't got to tell me twice. You ain't got to tell me 3 times. I don't want nothing to do with you, or I don't appreciate you, or I'm not going to give you back what you give me, which is faith, trust, friendship, loyalty. If I invest these things in you and you don't mirror them back to me, you don't give me what I give you, it's over. It's done. I'm not going to break down and go, oh, boo. It ain't happening, people. It's not going to happen. So you got 2 things you can do. Number 1, you can get a tough skin and develop a tough skin, even if you have a thin outer layer. Even if you are, I'm sensitive, I'm very sensitive, and I'm an empath. You can develop a thick outer layer if you want to. But if you don't want to, and you got a little drama in you that and see, some people actually like having conflicts in their life. When they're saying that my family's calling me crazy, when I talk to them like about gang stalking, they call me crazy, and then you tell them to break it off with them, and then they give you every reason in the book not to break it off, like to keep it going. You know what I say to them after that? I'm done. I don't know what else to tell you. Because they're codependent. I have dealt with codependent people off and on throughout my life as a human being, and as my life as a mental health tech, as my life as a med-surg nurse, and in my life as a psychiatric nurse. You run across these people all the time, and they thrive on toxicity. They like being around these toxic vampire types. These people that drain the life out of you, and then they complain, he's draining the life out of me. Why don't you get away from him? But you don't understand, we go way back. I do understand. I had a friend, we went way back. We broke bread, we hung out. We drank barley pops. I understand. That friendship ain't there no more. I don't boo-hoo-hoo. He's still in my prayers. I don't say nothing bad about him. I just don't hang out with him. We don't talk. I'm sure that if one day they wanted to reconcile, I'd be down for that. I'd give it a shot. But when people don't validate me anymore, and when people don't respect me anymore, or respect my feelings or what I have to say to them anymore, then that door closes. And I don't look back and go, I wonder if I should open that door and go back to them. No. I'm almost 59 years old. I got a wealth of history of learning. And my learning has taught me that if someone doesn't give back to you what you invest in them, close the door. Don't look back, and then don't spend day after day going, second guess yourself. Should I go back to that person? Because we had something. It was a family member. We shared DNA. Well, that was my friend. We went back. We used to kick it. We used to roll. We used to break bread. We used to party. We used to get down. No, let it go. Let it go. And then this other lady gets in on the conversation. After I told this lady directly what to do, she goes, You're not a TI, you're a perp. I go, man, here we go again. You hurt somebody's feelings and they're all boo-hoo-hoo. They're all, I'm a victim. I'm a victim of gang stalking. You don't understand. You're a victim because you want to be a victim. You think I'm a victim of gang stalking? Not no, but hell to the no, I ain't no victim. I'm a target. It's messed up my life, but I'm not a victim of anything. When you run around being a victim, people are waiting for you. Not just gang stalkers. You walk around a victim in a bad neighborhood when your car breaks down. You see where that victim gets you. That victim, oh, but I'm an empath. I'm special. I'm non-gender binary. And I got puke green hair and pink hair. And I got these big, big, big earlobes with all these things. And I got a nose ring and all these things. And I'm special. I'm special. And I'm an empath. You know what that's going to get you? Rolling through a bad neighborhood when you have a flat tire? Somebody's going to walk up behind your head and that's what's going to happen. So this whole victim me, my family is turning on me. Well, if they turn on you and you walk away, you're not a victim. But if they turn on you and you keep going back to them, yeah, you are a victim. You painted yourself as a victim because that's what you want to be. You want to be a victim. It's like half the Democratic Party is a victim. Oh, Me Too movement. I'm a victim of this, and this. Oh, I'm a victim too. I'm a victim of gang stalking. Hey, guess what over here? I'm a victim of gang stalking. You think I'm getting in on that conversation? I ain't no victim. I'm a TI. But I ain't no victim. I'm trying to do something. Well, my pencil fell out. Let me try to do this again. A little segue, a little David Letterman. Pencil went the wrong way. If I do this wrong, the pencil's going to stick me in the eye. had to break up the monotony in the channel. But anyway, if you're a victim, you're going to have a hard time being a TI. And what I'm trying to tell you people is this. If you've got a thin skin, it's time to toughen up. You can take the biggest pansy in the world and you could take that pansy and you could make them into a hardcore killing machine for the United States Marines if that person actually wanted to change. If that person said, you know what, I'm a little sissy. I was an empath, but you know what? It's not getting me anywhere in life. And I'm willing to try to do something to make my life better because people are trampling all over my feelings. Friendships, people are abusing it. I'm having too many relationships with these toxic, vampiristic people. You break all that off, you develop an outer layer, thicker layer of skin. It becomes like leather. You learn to block things out. You learn that people say something that hurts your feelings or tries to hurt your feelings. You ain't got to hear none of that. I ain't hearing none of that. Let's say somebody wants to get around me and do directed conversations. I just learned the minute that conversation starts, I'm gone. You may have about 2 seconds to start with your directed conversations and trying to get in my head. I ain't sticking around listening to that. If you stick around and you go, oh, but I gotta get this, I gotta record this. Why? It's proof of what? Proof of two idiots talking to each other about you, and all they're doing is trying to get in here. If you develop the mental attitude that you're not coming up in here, it's not for rent. To get in this space, you've got to earn the right to get up in here. You got to bring something that's worth listening to. That bullshit ain't worth listening to. So the minute the directed conversation started me, I'm gone. I ain't sticking around. I don't want to hear what you got to say because it's not important to me. It's not gonna. The whole point of directed conversations is to get in your head. And so oh, but they was talking about me and they plan on doing this and they plan on doing that. And oh my God, my life's in danger. Woo! Your life ain't in danger. It's no-touch torture. It's psychological harassment. And the only way you can be harassed by this type of harassment is if you allow someone to do it. Now, I can tell you in the early phases of my gang stalking, I would sit around because I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Who's trying to do this to me? And who's this character over here? And what's going on? And why are you in on it? I'm trying to figure everything out. Well, people, I got it figured out. You want me to tell you what I figured out? I figured out, don't listen to it. If they're acting out in front of you doing street theater and mobbing, until someone grabs me by the shirt, put their finger in my face, or I feel a punch coming, I ain't worried about it. You can sit there and light your ass on fire, take all your clothes off, and run up and down the street like a naked spotted ass ape. I may turn around and look and laugh. That's about it. Because I don't care. What you got to say is not important to me. You ain't putting money into my account. You ain't putting knowledge up in my head. You ain't feeding me nothing that's worth eating. So it's all garbage. I don't garbage in, garbage out. That's what this society is all about now. You watch these YouTube videos, a lot of it's bullshit. A lot of it's garbage. It's nonsense. It's nothing for your head. It's low calorie. It has no nutritional value for your mind, your body, your spirit. It's just all a bunch of toxicity. That's what gang stalking is. You sit around and you start paying attention to everything people are doing. There's a car over there. There's a one headlight over there. Somebody's honking a horn over there. Somebody's acting out. Somebody's gaslighting. It's a circus going on out there. Do you know what would happen if, let's say, Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, they got the greatest show on earth? What would happen to them if that was a show, and I'm trying to do an analogy for you. If that show was nothing but perps who could do gymnastics, play with animals, do magic tricks, blow fire out their face and blow fire out their ass, all entertainment. But they perped you all throughout the show. People would go like once or twice like, wow, that's a crazy show, man. They perped me out. I can't go after that. It was entertaining, but it was scary as hell, and it got in my head. I couldn't sleep. Now I'm dreaming about these people everywhere I go, and I'm seeing one headlights. Do you know what would happen to them if that was the analogy of what they really were? They would go from this town to the next town, to the next town, to the next town. Nobody would show up. Do you know why? Nobody wants to be perped. They would be setting up their show to perp everybody. Nobody wants to be perped. So nobody comes to their show. That's what I'm saying about gang stalking. I don't want to come to your show. I don't care if you bring your show to me. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. And I don't care about it. It's low calorie, non-nutritional, fast food is what it is. But it's for the mind. That's all it's for. It's not good for the mind. It's not good for the body. It's not good for the spirit. It's not good for the attitude. So when you get engaged with these people and you won't let them go, you won't let them out of your life, and you cling on to, but that's my family. But they're perps. They're not giving you back what you're giving them. They're not giving you love and respect and kindness, loyalty, faith, and trust. Why do you want to go back to them? But we share DNA. So what? We're all from Adam and Eve. We're all related in one sense or the other. I still don't let people up into my life. To get up in my life, you got to bring me something. You got to bring me something, and I'm going to bring you something. And we're going to share, and we're going to meet in the middle. I'm going to give you love. I'm going to give you respect. I'm going to give you my faith. I'm going to give you my trust, my loyalty. And if you don't give that back to me, and I just met you, and I'm thinking about having a relationship with you as a friend or as a lover or as a co-worker, whatever you got to invest on whichever level it is. If I invest stuff in you and you don't give it back to me, as an employer, as a friend, or as a lover, or just somebody I know on the street, I ain't got nothing to do with you. I ain't got time for you. So when I told her it's time to find another family, I'm saying, pretend this is a mic. We see that all the time, or some of the time. That's the mic drop. That's what this really says in psychology is, I have given you every damn thing I've got. I've given you 100% of me. You had everything. That's the end of the show. That's it. It's done. You walk away. That's how I look at that mic drop. People can't do that nowadays. People can't walk away. It's like, if you can't walk away, don't post the stuff on Facebook. Don't post it on Facebook about your relationship's going sour unless you want people to boo-hoo-hoo for you and have a pity party for you. I ain't gonna have a pity party for nobody. I do have empathy to people who, need it, like someone who lost a loved one, someone who needs prayers on Facebook, someone who just got COVID. I got empathy for that. I don't have empathy for people who want to be in a volatile, one-way relationship with toxic people and then complain about it because it's all messed up, and then you tell them what you can do to fix it, and they're like, Oh, you're not a TI, you're a perp. You don't understand, I got PTSD, I'm an empath. Gang stalking doesn't care about your feelings, folks. That's all I gotta say. I hope you enjoyed the show. You guys get on with your life. You remember this, you do you, and they do them. You don't do them, don't let them do you. Avoid toxic people. Develop a thicker skin, and I promise you, this whole gang stalking stuff, it will be a hell of a lot easier to cope with and to manage. If your family's not loving on you, and they're telling you you're crazy, and your friend's not coming back to break bread with you anymore or hang out with you, don't sit there and get all co-enabled and dependent. Just walk away. Walk away, close the door, and then think about it no more. There's no reason to think about it anymore, because that's the only way you can cope as a targeted individual. If you're a targeted individual, but you want to be the victim, oh, I'm a victim of gang stalking. That's a problem. That's a major problem. Victims get victimized. That's it. So do you want to continue to be a victim, or do you want to call yourself what you really are, a target? Targets fight back in their own way. You don't have to fight back with these unless somebody puts these up. You can fight back by just simply walking away from the toxic environment, because it's all to get up in here and live up in here. That's what gang stalking is. It's getting up in here. It's not getting up in here. It ain't doing this. It's getting up in here. I don't let nobody get up in here. No, sir. You ain't. Unless you're bringing some knowledge, unless you're bringing some high calorie, densely packed nutritional information for my brain. Sorry, I don't eat fast food junk for my mind. Low calorie, no nutrition, it ain't going up in here. That's what toxic people are. I'm glad you guys hung around to the end. God bless you. Have a good day. And if you're been a victim, try being a not victim. A not victim. A not victim. Try not being a victim. Try to develop a thicker skin. And if you're having other problems that you need to address, if you can afford therapy, look up any type of clinician who specializes in cognitive behavioral therapy. But if you cannot afford cognitive behavioral therapy, go online and research it. And the reason I want you to research cognitive behavioral therapy is because of this. This is what cognitive behavioral therapy will do for you. And I'm going to give you some information. I'm going to give you some knowledge. How many sides of a coin are there? It's a quarter. How many sides do you see? Got your answer ready? This is what cognitive behavioral therapy will do. They'll ask you that question, and you go, it's obvious there's two. Did you miss that side? Side of the coin? There's three sides to this coin, not just two. There's more than the perspective out there that you hold. And just because you have if you're holding a perspective, doesn't mean it is valid. It's a valid perspective. You have to look at the problem from more than just the one or two angles. You have to think outside of the box to get down and drill down to the hardcore solution to your problem. That's cognitive behavioral therapy. I've actually seen this work in videos where people who were afraid of heights, they were afraid to get into an elevator, to even go up in a building with no windows. As soon as they get on the first floor, they start panicking. They get down in the bottom of the elevator because they're overcome with fear, overwhelming fear. And cognitive behavioral therapy will work you out of that. It will give you the rationalization for your fear, and it'll show you the other side, the objective viewpoint, instead of your viewpoint, which is opinionated, which is subjective. If you look at the objective, the alternative realities that exist, and take yourself out of the box and apply a new perspective, you can totally see things kind of like what's happening in the Matrix, but it's not going to be that dramatic. But I'm just giving you an analogy. Once again, you thought there were two sides of the coin, but there's actually three. There's more than one way to look at something. And instead of being a victim, you can be a victor. And instead of being a victim of gang stalking, just realize you're nothing more than a targeted individual.